We are off in Rich Loam for the first time, doing some public hunting out here. It's a lot different than Green Swamp. I'm nothing but 200 feet from the truck, following a trail, and we've already got a game path. You can see it cutting right through here. For that tree. Comes right along this way. Let me show you the tracks. You'll see the track right there. That is going to be a deer. So let's follow him. First thing I do is I smoke out ghillie suit, my boots, my hat, the clothes I'm wearing underneath, everything. So this morning, what you didn't get to see is at 3:30 in the morning, me sitting around a fire in my morning clothes, smoking everything I'm wearing, dangling it over the fire. And what you do is you just get a fire going. Don't use chemicals to get your fire going when you're going to smoke your outfit. Don't use charcoal. Don't use trash, paper, cardboard, nothing. Just get a fire going the traditional way. You're going to burn sticks and leaves, ideally anything that's wet or green. That's going to produce a lot of smoke. And then you're going to dangle your clothes in the smoke. You can hold a minute, do whatever you need to do. But you're going to smoke everything out. Smoke is a very strong smell. Smell of fire, obviously. It's something that animals are accustomed to. It'll help to mask your own scent. I do that every time before I come out into the woods. I smoke myself, cover myself in the smoke, as well as all of my clothing. And then I get dressed and come out. So right now, we're following this whole area. It's got a lot of good sign for the deer and hog. I keep seeing the deer's tracks in here. Try and find where he's going. So the area I'm in following this deer, a lot of hog sign, a lot of hog tracks. So sometimes when you're following them, you might get lost in the hog sign, but if you stop and look around, you'll notice he's actually still cutting through here, right there. It's going to be him, there. Him, her, whatever. Before I get too far into the woods, I should probably hide my face a little. But while we're out here, I'm not only looking for deer, but also turkey. So I like to spend a lot of time in a torn up area like this and check everything out and see what all's out here. So now I know there's hog, deer, and turkey all coming to this spot. We've also got some oaks, and I don't see any acorns on the ground, which can be a good sign. Or it just might mean that these ones didn't make acorns. Things to pay attention to as you're creeping along, trying to stalk something that you have yet to see. A little bit of bark knocked off on this tree, as well as this tree. It doesn't come off on its own. And we've got a little bit more sign up there. Now that could be hog. Up there, most likely is, because there's some dark rubs on the tree. But these could potentially be a deer. Now, as we move forward, we continue to creep through this area. See, the trees are nothing but 30 feet in front of me. Not very far away, but always make sure to take your time. As you can see from my shadow, here on my bow. I'm using a takedown recurve bow, traditional, no sights, all by feel. It's nothing fancy. The Black Hunter off of Amazon. But remember, as you creep along, move slowly, stop often, smell and listen and look around. See, this is probably hog down here, but we do have enough higher up That could have been a deer, potentially. Come off natural causes, but as we look up the tree, there's no other bark missing. So I've been hanging out over here, slowly walking in circles and checking everything out. There's a lot of sign and a lot of activity right here. So I want to make sure I'm taking in everything that's out here. Looking at all my signs, checking everything. And as I'm continuing, I notice this right here. I've got this little scratched up area right here. I don't think it's a turkey because I see some matted down tracks in it. One of them is kind of pointed, which leads me to believe it's a deer. Just showed you the scrape on the ground right there. Just found another one here. Both of them have a low-lying branch, so possibly a scent branch or a licking branch. So now I have two scrapes on the ground in the same area, both with a low-lying branch. We're in a good spot. The only problem is wind. Scent control is a little off at the moment because the wind keeps changing directions, literally blowing both directions, and all around me it keeps changing, so that makes it hard to control my scent. The only thing I have to help me is some doe urine that I've already put down my leg and my boot a little bit and put it on one of the trees just to get a thick masking scent going. And the smoke that I did this morning, I reek smoke, which is good. But that's the joys of hunting on the ground in a ghillie. So you can see the setup I'm wearing. It's a ghillie suit with blaze orange mixed in it. It's made by, I believe they're called Jaeger Ridge. Jaeger like Jägermeister. But they make this blaze orange ghillie suit. Top half alone is 520 square inches of daylight orange. The hat's like another 100, 150. So it's not legal in every state, but it is in mine. So I will take this any day. So I'm going to check out the scrape and carry on. So one thing to pay attention to when you're out here tracking and looking, trying to find a deer, is the trees. Obviously, look for acorn trees. However, if you see a bunch of acorns on the ground, it does not mean you're in the good spot. If they're on the ground, it means they're not being eaten. But if you find a tree that has caps still in it, like that, focus. Right there. That's an acorn cap, so that lets me know this one does make acorns. But if we look all over the ground, there are no acorns anywhere. Not even old ones. So that tells me that this is a tree that they like the acorns on. I don't know positively the difference between white oak and red oak, but I know they do eat one acorn before the other acorn. Here's a tip for when you're walking through water. Don't lift your feet up. Keep them in the water. Move very slowly. And feel the ground that you're about to put your foot on. Feel it out with your foot first. And then step on it. I've been following this deer. You can see all the steps right here. 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 There. You don't have to be pin dropped quiet when you're stalking, necessarily. There is a little forgiveness, because the deer do live in the woods with other animals, so they are used to hearing some sounds. What you don't want is your sounds to sound like a human, like me talking. It's counterintuitive, but I'm taking you along on a hunt. So you don't want to sound like a human with your steps and with your stick breaking. So if you break a stick, stop, wait, look around. and then gently step again a minute or two later. Deer break sticks too. It's not a big deal. So you get a little bit of forgiveness. But forgive me while I put you away and go around this. So as we continue to track our deer, we've got a nice oak. And again, we want to look for caps. We got caps right here. We're looking for acorn caps with no acorns. And oh, we have a scrape. Fresh tossed dirt and a low-lying limb right here. We have more sign again that we're in the right area. Not to mention steadily following his tracks. There's also something else that I heard about called the woodpecker theory. And that's if you hear woodpeckers and there's deer nearby. I don't know what the correlation is, but I heard about it on YouTube. So as I continue to track this deer, the wind, which is largely a tailwind coming from behind me, is swirling. So it's coming from behind me, in front of me, from the left, from the right, everywhere, and it keeps switching. Which, aside from deer pee, smoke, I'm glad that I also have the best scent control that they make. It's made by H&P, and the I guess the fragrance or whatever you would call it is IHHNIS. H&P stands for hopes and prayers, and the rest of the letters stand for I hope his nose is stuffy. That's about all I can do while I follow him. Stay tuned. As I come up to yet another puddle of water on the way, trying to decide left or right. I don't want to go through the water. Neither do the animals. There's a trail that goes right through there. Look a little closer. There's also some markings right here that are almost chest height. The bark is missing. And that's the only spot where the bark is missing. So what that kind of indicates to me, aside from seeing tracks in the ground, is that as a deer is coming through here, it's most likely a buck, and his antler is probably catching this as he walks, and then it's scraping off. So his antler's catching it and scraping off as he goes, because it's only missing bark here and a little bit here. So it's the little details that you need to pay attention to when you're trying to stalk an animal. Well, the good sign continues. Cut tracks deep into this stuff. I've got a good scrape all up on this tree. And another one. I don't know if we can see that through here. Right through there. Tree in the middle and the back. Good scrapes around here. So I'm on the edge of some water right now. Walking through a fern, marshy kind of area. This, I believe, might be a bedding area. There's some possible scraping going on right here. This is kind of a high point outside of all the water you can see. There's water all around. This area is pretty dry and there's some deep tracks throughout it. If I look right over here, we have a bona fide scrape right there. So, we're in somebody's home. Some more scrape right here. An old one there. But that's a good one. And the hunt continues. The more I look around, the more I see. Way down there, another scrape at the bottom of that cypress. And pan over. Looks to be maybe some old ones right there. Any of you guys know what time he comes home? I'm trying to talk to him about his extended warranty on life. Decent little cubby. That way. All that way. This way. So, here's what it looks like. Hopefully we're not too bad. Well, thanks for coming on the hunt with me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the next one.